that kind of leads me to the evolving science of supplements. You've said in the past that supplements are still evolving and in their infancy, even now in the end of March 2024. Why do you think that?
Simply because we are learning new things about nutrients and delivering nutrients to the living system of the body. We're learning new stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And every time we think that, well, we got it made, we now we know everything there is to know. We get taught a nasty lesson in the fact that we don't know.
Yeah, and then you see so much misinformation about nutrition and vitamins, and you see it all the time. You see these ads that, basically say if you take our product, you're going to walk on water. I think what happens is all that stuff really hurts the super reputable, long-term vitamin companies like Phoenix Nutritionals that have been in the trenches for 23 years. I think that all really hurts it. How do you think that it's going to keep evolving?
Well, I think that we'll learn more about pH. We'll learn more about a wide variety of things that we think we know, but I'll bet there's things about them that we don't know. Because I can remember a few years ago, well, we thought this was it.
Yeah.
This is the best we're going to ever get. And then the industry came out with new masking agents and allowed us to increase the potency of the B complex, for example.
Yeah.
And it still tastes reasonably good. And so every time we get complacent and think, well, that's it, this is the best it's going to get, something happens.
So basically what you're saying is that being a formulator of products of all kinds of vitamins, liquid and supplements in capsule form, how do you deal with all the information? How do you keep up with it all?
Well, fortunately, there are sources. National Library of Medicine is probably one of the biggest.
Yeah.
And I just take the time because I enjoy doing it. I'm a thirsty person for knowledge. And if I see something that I think can benefit a wider variety, range of people, then I began to think about how can I incorporate that into a supplement? And how can I make that bioavailable at the same time so that people can actually absorb it? But you made a good point about all these claims that these people make. I've always thought that you should, claim less and deliver more.
Yeah.
Because then people are happy. But when you make all these outlandish claims, these supplements do this and do that and do this and do that. Listen, guys, dietary supplements, in my opinion, and it is shared by many researchers, it's the only way to get the optimal amount of nutrients you need for optimal wellness. That having been said, just because you take a multivitamin or you take a vitamin formula for a specific reason, it's not going to be able to totally outweigh or overcompensate if you're living a 100% unhealthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
If you're drinking a half a bottle of liquor a day and you're smoking cigarettes and you don't sleep and you're under stress and eating crap food, I mean, there's not a supplement in the world that's going to be able to overcome all that.
Yeah.
And so I don't believe we should tell people that this fixes everything, because it doesn't. But it's a huge piece of the puzzle, because you just can't get all the nutrients you need from food. And as much as the American Dietetic Association wants you to believe that desperately, it just isn't true.
Yeah. What do you think about and I've heard you speak on this before, about the singular nutrient products versus a more target full spectrum approach?
Well, there are actually three categories. There's what I call the full spectrum. So that means it's got to provide at least 100 nutrients.
Okay.
Okay. Then there's targeted formulas. Those formulas are comprised of groupings of nutrients that have all shown to have the same benefit for the same issue. So, for example, if we do a joint supplement, we would do glucosamine and chondroitin, but we'd also do MSM and boswellia and yada yada. If we do a stress formula, yes, we're going to use the B complex, but we're also going to use a wide variety of herbs and amino acids because they also contribute to the same supportive nature. So that would be a targeted product. Then, lastly, we have singular nutrients, like when you go to the store and buy a bottle of vitamin C or vitamin A. And the basic rule of thumb is that you shouldn't take isolated nutrients by themselves, because doing so can oftentimes upset your biochemistry and create other problems. So, for example, if you take vitamin C, because there's darn good research to show that vitamin C can prevent even the common cold. But if you take it in high amounts and you don't take a multivitamin that provides everything else, the vitamin C is a diuretic. It's one of its properties. And that, under certain circumstances, is a really good thing. But if you're not taking any other nutrients, it's going to flush all the water-soluble nutrients, like the B complex, out of your system at an accelerated rate.
So it becomes an imbalance.
So your body chemistry becomes drastically imbalanced. I always tell people, if you want to take isolated nutrients for certain things, always take a good full spectrum supplement together with it, or first. Then you can add all these other things that you think you need or that you do need for whatever issues you're dealing with, and you will be safe in doing so because you will not be upsetting the biochemistry of the body, and you will not create deficiencies by doing so.
And so that's the key. I think a lot of people miss that if you're doing these isolated nutrients and you're not taking a full spectrum product, you're actually kind of part of the problem. You're causing that imbalance.
You sure can be over time if you do it long enough.
Wow.